My name is Mike Wang. I'm the founder and chief clinical officer of Inspiren. But I'm not here to talk about AI, data, or any of that. I know, super disappointed. It's okay. We're going to get through this. I'm actually here to talk to you about 3 stories. Nothing fancy. 3 stories from my life that has really fueled my purpose and my mission. Okay. Now, you might be asking, what about you that makes me want to hear your stories? Well, the reason for that is certainly not because I ran 5 50 Ironmans back to back to back. I assure you, the Iron Cowboys got that 100% covered, and I'm not iron anything, okay? But you see, I'm here because I come from a very privileged life, okay? I've had the extreme privilege of serving as a United States Army Green Beret for 7 years at the height of the Afghanistan war. Thank you. Thank you very much. And at the time, my unit experienced the highest combat and operational tempo of that of any unit within the United States military arsenal. The Ranger Battalion that I served under and the 5th Special Forces Group, we were the very, very first to be in Afghanistan. Okay? But not only that, but it was really through the lens of war that I got to see the best that humanity had to offer. Courage, commitment, unforgettable compassion. Beyond the cruelty and savagery and the things I can never unsee, I actually saw the best that humanity had to offer. And a lot of those qualities actually remind me of you. You see, the things I'm going to talk about on stage today are things I've never talked about in public before. My family, my closest friends have never heard this because I chose not to talk about it. However, I'm choosing to do it now because it's kind of my very small way of giving back to a community that's given me so much. 18 months ago, I was a newcomer and an outsider to this industry. But you embraced me and also believed in me and my technology. And I've had the privilege of actually walking through the halls of a lot of your communities. I've seen you hold the hands of your residents, you dance with them, you laugh with them, you cry with them. You offer compassion and dignity to the population that needs it the most. So if my 3 silly stories can give you a small spark of inspiration that reminds you of your purpose, then alhamdulillah. Praise be God, and I'm truly blessed. You guys ready for 3 stories? Hua? All right. First story, coffee and donuts. It's not a dating site. It's not. So the United States Army Special Forces was created by JFK. We are the unconventional force that operates in the shadows. We specialize in guerrilla warfare, unconventional warfare, and that's why they chose us to be dropped into Afghanistan as the first unit ever. The process of becoming a Green Beret, you have to go through a Special Forces assessment and selection course, okay? And this course is designed for one thing, and that is to find out who the quitters are. In this course, you may have heard of this little unit called Navy SEALs. Have you ever heard of Navy SEALs? So the Navy SEALs are known for their Hell Week. But for the United States Army, instead of having hell for 1 week, we have it for 3 weeks. Okay? And instead of in the sandy beaches of San Diego, we get to be in the nastiest, smelliest, coldest, and the most miserable swamps in North Carolina. Okay? This is actually a real picture of what it looks like and what we have to endure for 3 weeks. And also, ladies and gentlemen, this is also when you begin to question your life's decisions. And you begin to ask yourself, is a Green Beret really worth all of this? So at the height of this training program is 4 days and 4 nights of land navigation. So you're out there on your own. And for 4 days, you barely eat anything. There's definitely no sleep. And within that time, normally a grown human loses about 35 to 40 pounds. Okay? You have about 75 pounds on your back. And when you come head to head with cold, starvation, sleep deprivation all at once, that's when you really find out if this is what you want. So the story is, on the fourth night, after we have been absolutely demolished, we're so delirious, we're actually falling asleep while standing. Okay? And you might be asking, hey, you're out there in the middle of the night, why don't you just take a little nap? Right? Actually, all of us wear sensors on us, so our cadres and instructors are monitoring our heart rates and respiration at all times. So when you decide to fall asleep and your rhythm reflects that, you get a nice gentle tap on your back and says, candidate, you're off the program. Okay. So it's the fourth night, all of us are delirious, we have no idea what's going on. It's miserable, and off in the distance, we see two headlights. It's a truck, the cadres are coming, this can't be good, okay? They park, they get out with a smirk on their face, and they bring a box with them. And they bring a thermos with them. They come right up to us and they say, hey guys, it's awesome how far you've come. It's almost at the end of the program, all right? But we did something really nice for you. We brought you donuts. We brought you hot coffee. They uncapped the coffee, the steam came out. And at this phase, you're in such a state of caloric deficit. You're starving. You can actually smell the sugar in the air. Okay? They said, guys, this is the nicest thing we've ever done to anybody. You can have a donut, you can have your coffee. But the only thing you gotta do is, you gotta say, hey, I've had enough. This is not for me. You get to take your donuts, you get to take your coffee, you get to ride back to the barracks where a warm bed and a hot shower waits for you. It's okay, it's all right. There's no shame in this. What do you say? Silence. There were about 15 of us out there. We're shivering. Some of them are shivering so hard, their teeth actually shatter. We've been in the swamp for so long, the bottom of our feet have completely fallen off. Okay? Silence. And then one after another. Sarge, I think I'll take the donuts and coffee. Another one follows, and another one follows, another one follows, until there's only 4 of us left. We're shivering so hard, we're delirious, and then the cadre comes right in front, standing right in front of me, and takes a big bite out of the donut. Candidate, what do you say? And out of my smart ass, what come out of my mouth is, I don't know if it's gluten-free, sir. So for the rest of selection, my nickname was gluten-free. The ones that were left, we knew that was a defining moment to our lives. So we did not want to take the donuts. We did not want to take the coffee. Okay? So that's story number 1. Story number 2, the horse soldier. Okay? So the 5th Special Forces Group actually was the first one to activate right after 9/11. We're there for a very specific purpose. That is to lay down the groundwork for the invasion that's coming to Afghanistan. And also, we're there to bring those who are responsible for murdering 2,996 of American lives. And the reason why I'm wearing this really old and beat up sweatshirt is because it wears the emblem of New York's bravest, the firefighters who rushed into those buildings and who died there. So I actually wore this all throughout my deployment to remind myself of why I was there. And if you look close to the patch, you can actually see the outline of New York. And you can actually see the silhouettes of the Twin Towers. And that is still on the emblem today. So, because we're the first in, we had no Humvees, we had no airplanes to support us, we had no air cover, we had nothing, everything on our backs, we dropped in behind enemy lines. And guess what? We get to ride on the back of horses. Because that's the only thing that can get us through the terrain that we were in. And because of that, we were termed the horse soldiers. Because it was the first time in the United States military in a century where soldiers went into battle on horseback. And that defined us. We had no resources, we had no options, and we laid down the groundwork, built the Northern Alliance, eventually that overthrew the Taliban. So, when there are no resources, ask no questions, get on the horseback, and charge into battle. Third story, ISA. This is a name in Arabic that means hope. So I was in northeast Afghanistan. We were doing a patrol, very heavy fighting. In the middle of all of this fighting, a girl walked up to me. She wore a red hijab. She was about probably 16 or 17 years old. She saw on my uniform a patch that looked very much like this. It was a cross. She pointed to it, and she said it in Farsi with our interpreter there. And she said, something. I said, no, I'm a medic, and so on. But she said, no. She pointed to my patch, and she said, I dream to be a nurse. Now, you have to understand the audacity of this, because in Afghanistan, according to the law, a woman is not allowed to be in schools. You can be beaten to death if they found out. And also, if you, for whatever reason, dishonored your husband, you could be stoned to death. So to talk to an American and to point at my uniform to tell me that she dreams to be a nurse, that is bravery. So I took my patch off and actually gave it to her. And I said, you hold on to this. At that point, she grabbed it on tight with her hands. She said it again. I dream to be a nurse. And I said, you will be a nurse. And she said, Inshallah, God willing. So fast forward, after my deployment, I did 2 consecutive combat tours of the heaviest fighting of the period. I got home and I was lost. For a year, I worked in a salvage yard, basically, where I worked with car parts because I couldn't figure out my life. I was completely lost. I lost my purpose. I lost my meaning. And one day I got home, there was a letter on the table waiting for me. And this letter had a lot of stamps on it, so I knew it probably came from far away. When I opened the letter, a picture fell out. It was a grown woman in a nurse's uniform wearing a hijab. And I knew that was Isa. And the fact that she made her dream come true, made her way out of Afghanistan to become a nurse, that is bravery. And because of that, I myself chose to choose nursing as a profession in my civilian life. I went on to specialize in cardiothoracic surgery and geriatrics, eventually finding my company and building my company. That's what brings me here today. And I want to show you a picture of Isa. Her face is blurred out because she still has family in Afghanistan, and I don't want this to get out. So, to you, to all of you, when you question your purpose, when you don't have the resources, when in doubt, hop on the horseback and charge into battle, and I guarantee you, your team will follow you. And also, when you are in the hardest of times, and we have to choose between standing your ground or taking the coffee and donuts, fuck the donuts. Thank you, guys.